Welcome to the Free Idea Podcast. I am here recording with Roman.
Yes, sir.
Roman in Spanish, but Roman. And your last name, how do I pronounce that one?
Oh, it's complicated. It's Ryzhkov in original language, but some people just call me Ryzhkov, and I'll leave it that. That's all right.
That's all right.
I'm actually sorry if you're watching us on YouTube. I do suppose that my camera is glitching. Like you can see sometimes stripes over here and over there. That's I don't know why is that happening.
Actually,
but...
maybe only on your side. I see you perfectly.
I hope so. I hope so.
Wait, no,
let us know
mind.
in the comments.
What? You know what? I don't think Spotify has comments. I've never found them.
Oh,
but you know what? Maybe one day they'll add them.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
And I don't know about Apple Podcasts. I want to put it there eventually.
Oh, I doubt it. I was listening to every episode yesterday.
Really?
I like the podcast. Yeah, I did.
Oh my God.
Guess my favorite one.
It's gonna be the one with Charlene.
Exactly. Yeah. That was so cool. I liked it. First of all, I like you talking about stuff when he was talking about cities and then hobbies. But the one where you guys interacted with each other, was so good.
That's so nice.
Was also really heartwarming. Remember when she was telling that about something about grown men?
Yes, a grown man and a grown boy.
Yeah, actually, I like them. I especially like you, and I was like, that's so nice. That's so nice. So yeah, really enjoyed that one.
Man, thanks for that. Thanks for the compliments. I felt so weird doing the podcast, especially because when we started it, I could see her flip like a switch, like something changed, and her tone of voice was more like a reporter, very nice and professional. And that's why I'm like, I got weird. I'm like, hey,
did she start acting?
She started acting a little bit like a different persona, and that's why sometimes I mention it like, yeah, are you?
Yeah. But that's kind of cool, because it's podcast and you're putting it out. It's like, little show. It's like
yeah, you're right. It's a little show. Even I feel like that sometimes, like, oh, I forgot how to be normal. How can I, bring myself back to how it's supposed to be?
Yeah, that's all right.
I want to ask you, because you saw the podcast in the past. About passions, and I'm really interested in the subject right now. You have a passion right now in this moment, and something to do with video editing and I think marketing. Would you tell us about that? Like, what do you do?
That would sound a bit like advertising myself, but I'll do it.
Okay.
Because I'm a freelancer. I'm a freelancer right now. There are a lot of freelancing platforms out there. And what I'm doing is I'm providing video editing services for people. I just started. I'm grading. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really cool. That's what I'm trying to make a good living with. I suppose that's how you can say it.
Right.
Yeah. For those of you watching this and don't know about me, my name is Roman, and I'm a foreigner actually, so please excuse my English if I make some mistakes. I don't know.
Right, I forgot the introduction. Roman. This is Roman from originally Ukraine. From Russia or Ukraine?
Ukraine, but I speak Russian, so that's a bit confusing, but
that's what it is. Originally from Ukraine. I met him in Germany, and he's now living in Berlin, right? Or no more.
I'm planning. That's like my dream. I live in another city, but my dream is to move to Berlin. You know what? I hope when you put this podcast out, I already live there. So that's like that would be great.
I'm gonna put it out like in a few minutes. Can you move? Right away?
Not enough time. Can pack all this stuff. No, not that fast.
Yeah, it's a nice room. I like what you did with the lights.
Yeah, thank you.
He has a bunch of lights on the ceiling.
Yeah. In case you're just listening to us, you should definitely check us out on the YouTube as well.
Maybe one day I'll put the videos in there too. I'll keep this regardless. Usually I just post on Spotify right now. But later I want to move to iTunes, and then maybe if it actually is good or something, I'll keep the videos anyways, and maybe one day actually post them somewhere people can see. Maybe it's different.
For sure.
Maybe it's different. So where were we? You were doing some marketing video, and I saw it. You were doing some really cool thing where there's like a can of soda or something you're selling, and the can of soda spins and gets crushed. And it looks like a professional video. But what amazed me is that it was only one person. It was only you who did it.
And just right here in this room.
Did you do it purely electronically, or you actually had to take videos of an actual soda can?
Yeah. I had to take some videos on green screen. You know what green screen is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I did. And everything else was just editing, just like magic.
That's amazing. No, he did a great job. It was, I believe it was a company who did it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, when I met you long ago, you were into rapping and rapping videos.
I still am.
You still are. Awesome to hear.
Yes,
and that was your passion, or it still is your passion. How far has that gone? For example, have you ever been able to make money from that?
No, not yet, I suppose. I was getting some recognition from people, like people who were listening to my music. They were like, "Yo, this stuff is cool."
Yeah, it is cool.
I've performed for a couple of times. That was insanely good.
Really? What do you do?
Yeah. What did you say?
What do you do? Because you say you perform. Were you like at a club?
Yeah, with my songs. No, with my songs. Just as a rapper, I was just singing them.
Okay.
If you will. And so that's like really cool, and that's like my long-term dream, to become a rapper.
Yeah, that was so cool.
One of my concerts in Ukraine or maybe wherever else.
Yes, I remember I would put your music in the car sometimes, where I would go. Either I was with people or not, but I always felt cool, like, oh yeah, that's my friend right there. I know that guy. And then the music, it's in another language. I don't get it, but it sounds cool. Just the rhythm, and just because it's foreign, also sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. So that's like, that's like hobby, which I dream to make let's say to make it full time. Let's say it this way. Yeah. So right now I'm freelancing, trying to make living, but then some time.
I've noticed making money out of like passions, let's say, or hobbies is very, very, very difficult. Like
that's right.
Like I made YouTube videos, I made now a podcast. I used to do painting and little things like with dirt, like molds. I never made money with any of those. Never.
Yeah,
but
that's all right.
I was going with something with this. But regardless of whether you're making money or not, it's always fun to watch your creations. That's
for sure.
Like when I would make YouTube videos and I would make one that I'm really, really proud of, I would just play it and play it over in YouTube. And I would get like 10 views and all those 10 were mine.
Does it work like that?
No, but I would watch it in different, like one on my laptop, one in my phone, and then in the friend's laptop as I show it to them. That's how I got the views, actually. So, do you find yourself?
That's how things are getting started. That's all right.
It is. Do you find yourself also doing that? Like when you release a song, listening to it?
Yeah, especially like my last music video with my younger brother. I was just recently rewatching it, and I'm like, I can't believe we done this. Like, that's cool.
Is it the one in the parking lot?
On the parking lot.
There
is one on parking lot, indeed. Yeah, you're right. But the one I'm talking about is during the night. So even the song is called like Midnight Freestyle because it's in the night. Yeah, and I don't know. This one is fun. Yeah, especially considering the fact that my younger brother didn't want to make it.
Really?
I was kind of making him too.
And what about your cousin? She looks like she's having a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
She wanted to actually do it.
She kind of wanted to do it for me, not for not for the
What?
culture, you can say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was kind of like because I was asking her, begging her to do that, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, all right."
How strange is that? Because he comes out so professional. Like I would want to be there 100%. If you were like, hey, Damien, I'm gonna make a video. Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
Thank you. It's a
Oh, but
great
it was
pleasure to hear
amazing.
that.
Of course. Now I run out of topics. So please, Roman, anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, I actually I should have said that in the beginning, but that's all right. You said you are a bit worried to do that podcast thing, and I wanted to say that so am I,
Oh, okay.
because I definitely understand you. It's like it's not the normal conversation between us. I mean, we are recorded, and it's weird. It affects the communication,
Yeah, it
and
does.
yeah. Anyway, because yeah, I definitely understand you because. Um, I've been making videos for TikTok,
Uh-huh.
and you can stream on TikTok. So that's what I also was trying to do. I was rapping in my stream.
Nice.
Yeah, and I mean that was so cool because I was just turning the music on, and it worked like a karaoke. And I love karaoke. I love rap music, so that's why it was pretty good. But I remember once I've tried to talk on my streams. I
Mm-hmm.
called my friend and we were discussing some topic, and I was so uncomfortable for some reason
Mm-hmm. Yes.
because singing and doing like all this crazy rap stuff,
Yes.
it was kind of natural for me, but I felt so uncomfortable just sitting and discussing something in particular. Oh my god! And you know what's crazy? I feel super comfortable right now with you.
Oh, that's
That's
better.
strange. That's weird, and that's super cool. And yeah, considering the fact that we're doing that in English, which is a foreign language to me, and I'm still comfortable. Yo, Damon. Maybe,
Congratulations.
yeah. Because being an interviewer maybe is your thing, you know?
Yeah. I do like talking. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I wish I could get paid for talking. It's the easiest thing for me to do and to be curious about people and questions, which now that reminds me, but before I go to that next topic, I want to say congratulations for doing a whole thing in a foreign language, because to you, I believe this is your second language and it's not easy, especially with the nerves. Like as when I was learning English, I know there's a lot of nerves on it. Although you've spoken it already for many years, which I'm pretty sure those nerves are away. But maybe because you're doing it now in a sort of video or like audio that's going to be released to the public, that should be a little bit more nervous. But you're doing like amazing. You're doing perfect. And I want to say like, wow, congratulations. And also, you don't only speak English and Ukrainian and Russian. You speak another language, which is
Kind of. I
where you live.
Yeah. So I was learning German for quite a bit. I speak it on what I call supermarket and restaurant level
Oh,
because in those places I can explain people what I want, what I need. We understand each other more or less. And I would also say Polish, but
wow.
I understand it rather than I speak it because Polish, Ukrainian, and Russian are Slav languages. Slav or Slavic, I don't know what it's called in English, but those are languages from one particular group. So, which means they are similar. If you know a couple of them, you can pretty much understand all of them. So that's how it works.
I understand like Spanish
Portuguese, I
from
suppose.
Mexico and Spain. Portuguese is completely different. I tried it and maybe I catch in a sentence one word, but I still miss the whole thing. Portuguese is like a French and Spanish mix. Well, it sounds like it to me, but it's more close to the Spaniards and Mexicans. That oh no, that one is actually like completely the same. Maybe the equivalent of Russian and Polish would be Spanish and Italian. That one is it's more
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah. I just wanted to ask about Italian.
Italian I can understand like a little bit sometimes, like "Cómo está?" or "Cómo estai?" I think it's like "How are you?" Same as Spanish, "Cómo está?" Not entirely sure, but then, anyways, gets complicated.
But it's still interesting to discuss. Remember when we were in Barcelona? You was understanding everything, aren't you?
Oh yes, I was.
Yeah, even though they might speak a little bit different, like dialects and stuff.
Catalan.
It was
they spoke another form of Spanish, Catalan.
Exactly, yeah. But it was still all right for you.
Yes, because even when I would read signs, it was like Spanish, but then you take out the final two letters, or maybe the first two letters. It's like an incomplete Spanish in a way.
That's an easy grammar to understand.
Yeah, it is. It's like if your name was Roman, I would say Roma or Rom, and I'm like, I think it means Roman, but you know.
The funniest thing is that you can actually say that. Because in Russian we like have full names and short names, and my full name is Roman, but you can call me just Roma, or some friends will be like just like Rom, hey Rom, so that's funny.
It is funny because I used to call you Roma all the time when we were living together, and then when I saw your Facebook name, I see Roman with an N. And I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't know you had an N. This whole time I was calling you Roma.
That's a bit confusing, yeah.
You never like changed me. You never told me.
Yeah, because it was absolutely right.
Okay. Talking about Russian, or like how you change the names, I do like how Russians tend to have so many variations. Like you would make fun. I love a lot of names, like well, we had this friend who you would make so much fun of his name. You would call him Antohan. His name is Anton, and you would say Antohan or Antovich, or what would
Antonio,
you? Antoha,
Antonina, whatever. Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
You can change the name so much. It's always fun.
Yeah. Just for the sake of making fun.
So Roman, how could you say your name in different ways?
Ooh, let me count. So Roman, Roma, Rom, and then goes something like Romchik, Romario. That's what my aunt was calling me, Romario. And
that's very interesting.
Those are 5, and you can basically freestyle. Yeah, you can come up with whatever you want.
And for every name, I guess for Damien, what would come up? Demianski.
I always wanted to call you something like Demiano or something. Demiano. I guess especially when we were in Italy. Yeah.
Yes. I would say Damianini.
I also remembered one funny stuff. You know what I was watching before we started making this podcast?
I
was watching PewDiePie.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did that because remember when we were in Rome airport, when we were flying away, I guess, to France. And so it was a long trip, and that was basically 2 of us. And I was speaking English all the time, and at certain point, I just got slow for some reason. I remember that I was saying everything so slow because it was like too much for me, and I was overthinking things. I remember I was saying like, does he needs, like I said, does and needs with S at the end, because I was just overthinking grammar. And I just realized that I'm talking so slow that you barely understand me. And I remember I started watching PewDiePie where the guy just talks. And after that, I also started, not overthinking, just like I switched my brain and I was just talking normally. And so for the sake of me talking fast in this podcast, So it turns out well.
Yeah,
I was
it
watching
is.
PewDiePie before I started this thing.
I see what you mean. You were practicing that the flow.
It kind of helps.
Yeah, well, it does. Even me, as I spoke English for a lifetime, I guess, and then I spent a few years in China speaking only. No, not even. No, that's dumb. Because I was speaking English in China all the time. Then I come here, and I don't know why my English is terrible. Anyways, I think as I started breaking the words, because people over there don't know the full uh, vocabulary, so sometimes I have to say, "Me want to eat." I
Ah,
like food instead of I like this food very much because they wouldn't understand
mm.
certain things. So just
That's
simplify it
fun.
like a kid.
That's so interesting.
And then when I would speak English, like Chinese, like you said, the market language level, I would also speak like a baby, like me want this,
Yeah.
me want to buy what, yeah, my chiga, I want to buy this, and then I started speaking English like a baby. Come back here, and my English is still. Sometimes I speak like a baby to
That's so
people.
interesting.
Yeah, I got used to that part. Um,
Funny.
But I like PewDiePie. When you mention him, I have a cat now. It's outside, and her name is Beauty
Oh,
from the show. And I
that's
watch
sweet.
I watch PewDiePie like every day, every episode. I've watched pretty much. He doesn't put out videos fast enough, I think. You know.
Cool.
What were
But
we're speaking before this? Something about Oh, I remember. I wanted to
uh-huh.
talk about the you. We went on this trip, which was the craziest trip we I ever
7 days,
had.
boy.
Was it 7 days? A whole week?
Yeah.
And
No, that was the week for me. You joined a bit later, I remember, but it
oh,
was
that's
still
right.
like 6 or 5 days, which is crazy.
That's right. So Roman was there for 2 days extra. I was there for 5, if I remember. And every day we went to another city, another country.
Yeah, it was almost like that.
And it
Crazy.
was crazy. It just tested my mental stamina. Because we were one day, we started in Milan, Italy, and then we moved to Rome, I think by
Rome.
train,
Yeah,
and we
I remember
slept
I was
there, right?
becoming deep because we were moving through tunnels.
Yeah. Did we sleep in that trip? 8 hours?
Yeah, do you remember that trade? That was so
It was
insane.
so insane. It
Yeah,
was.
let me remind you real quick because I'm still proud of that evening.
Yes.
Because where we went to the train, just imagine a corridor. That's where would you move, and there are rooms on the left. And whenever you enter the room, there are 3 seats, three opposite three, like just on left and right.
Yeah.
And when we sat down there, yeah, I just watched everybody just sitting and kind of trying to sleep when they were sitting, and that was like so unusual for me because in Ukraine we have like special beds so you can sleep in the train. And when I saw you kind of, adjusting, I was like, no, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. Let's change it. And we walked out and we've
Yeah.
noticed that some rooms were empty. Remember, they were dark.
Mm-hmm.
And we've catched the train worker who was just walking with his iPad or whatever that was. And we asked, hey, can you check this room? Is somebody entering it until it comes to Rome? He's like, oh, yeah, sure. Let me check it in the database. And it's like, nah, nobody's entering. Can we go there? He said, yeah, for sure. No problem. And those seats that were on the right and on the left, they turned out to I don't know how to say it, like
Merch.
slide down. Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So they were making like bed, and I'm like, that's the Ukrainian way of traveling. Then welcome.
Thank you.
Let's sleep right now because yeah, we had like the whole night
Thank you,
ahead of.
Roman. You pulled it. Just like you got a free upgrade.
Yeah, I just remember that, man. I just remember that. It was like so cool, and you were so happy, like, oh, sure,
Yeah.
with the comfort, let's
Yes.
go.
It was like a dream because you had it was like a whole train room for ourselves. Everything is a bed,
Yes, sir.
and then you have the big window and it's nighttime, and you see all the lights from the cities, and sometimes the stars, which is the darkness, and you hear the train noise that just goes like the whole time, and it feels so surreal. And it's beautiful. You were just, I was chilling there looking out the window at the night while hearing these train tracks going like the same tone for the whole ride. It was the best. And then I woke up the next morning, and again, it's like you see everything is daylight and more cities, different style. But it's just beautiful for somebody who never was in a train before or never slept. I never slept in a train before.
It's not that common in States, isn't it?
No, I definitely not Texas. I don't think we have even a single train here, other than trains for business, like where they carry stuff from one place to other place. That's it. But that was the best, and you got us a free upgrade. And I remember how you exit the room. Yeah, there was like 6 people inside the room at first, and then you exit. You talk to this guy with the iPad. I'm like, what is Roman doing? And then you come back like, dang it, come. You didn't even want to say it, because they would hear it. And then you show me this room where it's empty, and then we enter, close the curtains, right? So it was amazing. There was like a whole private room for us.
Yeah.
And you know what was so strange? That toilet. Because also first time a toilet in a train, everything falls straight to the, what do you call those? Train wrecks. Yeah. I guess I'm not
was
so
it falling
sure.
straight down there?
Yeah, it was like a hole. Like you could see, if you open the toilet, right, you look at it, instead of seeing just pitch black, you see the train wrecks and rocks and everything just moving at fast speed.
Yeah,
I felt so strange.
there was.
And so everything, including paper, you just flush it down the tracks.
Hell yeah. That's the same. I guess that works everywhere, because in Ukraine it's the same. And yeah, I was really surprised when I was in the airplane for the first time. I was like, how can't I see the Earth? Why is there no direct hole?
Imagine if you could, like another window. I think maybe airplanes do flush it. I'm not so sure if they have like a place.
There's like a special system, which is complicated.
I don't know. I just know that one time I had to go to the bathroom when the airplane was already like on the tracks. Yeah, landing. Like it was already on the tracks, just moving slow or fast. And I really had to go, and the person told me like, do you really have to go to an emergency? And I say, yeah, and then she let me. But I was just thinking, why would she not let me unless it's an emergency? Like, maybe I'm just imagining, what if they press a button and like everything falls?
Yeah. It's not contained.
Because when you flush, you always hear the change in atmosphere. Like and that, I'm just imagining, what if it opens actually while you're in the air? I don't know. Regardless, that was a wonderful trip, and that was to Rome. And that's only one trip of all the next 5 days. So we have so many stories. Next city, we went to Rome, was beautiful. And then the next city we went to, do you remember?
Paris, France.
Paris, yeah.
For sure.
Yes. I bought baguettes.
Damn, we got fooled in Paris. I still can't forget it.
We got scammed.
My God. Scammed. My God. Should I tell it?
Yeah, please.
Oh my God. I think I still see that girl in my dreams, in my nightmares.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Perfectly.
So
that little woman.
All right. So we're in Paris, right? We're going down to the subway, metro station. And what we was doing, we were trying to buy tickets. And then the lady came to us, who was wearing the her outfit reminded like she's an official. Help me with the vocabulary. like she's working there.
I know. Yeah, you got it.
She had logotypes and everything, and she's like, "Hey, can I help you?" We're like, "Sure, of course we need help." Yeah, and so she bought us tickets. We gave some money, And we paid like for 24 hours ticket, but it was only one-way ticket. So she scammed us. And damn, I still remember when, so we had only one-way trip and we went to our hotel. We sat in, we were going back, and I just remember how door closed.
Yeah.
We couldn't get inside the subway station. And I was like, just climbing over. And I was saying, damn it, that's what we should do because it's not working for some reason.
Yeah.
And I remember a lady who was sitting on the desk, like, what do you call this? Like a ticket box,
ticket
casa.
booth.
Yeah,
ticket booth.
And she was so calm. I like shout out to her because she didn't press any button like, I don't know, security or whatever. She was like so calm of just seeing us climbing through the whole thing.
Yeah, we jumped the fence or the whatever automatic door. We had to jump it. We didn't pay because the ticket wasn't working.
Oh my God, yeah. And I remember how angry I was, and you were super calm. Remember when we were walking in city center, and I was like, we gotta go there tomorrow. She will be there. We gotta go with police. Police would catch her, or at least we would beat her. I don't know, whatever. Because oh my God, I'm so angry. It was like, now come on, chill. She might not be there. Just let it go. And I was like, oh no, I can't. Arr.
I remember because she scammed us of, I think it was 50 euros. I don't know if it was total or each. I can't remember.
No,
the ticket was expensive.
Total, definitely total.
Total. So the next day you wanted to, to go and, tell her how angry you are. But I was thinking we only have one day to enjoy Paris, and we shouldn't let the scammer ruin our experience. And like for 50 euros. So you were so angry. I remember you called the police. We were walking in the park. There was these two officers walking.
Yeah.
You were telling them your problem, and they were basically like, "We can do nothing
Our
about
problem,
it."
not my problem.
Oh
Our
yeah.
problem.
I guess at that point, I was.
I still insist on that.
Yes, it's our problem. And I was telling you, like, no, Roman, what can they do? And then you talk to them, and they just give you that same attitude of like, we can do nothing about it. Like, what does she look like?
Yeah, can help.
Where is she? And it's like, no, they just couldn't help, and they were maybe walking. Like, I don't know, they were doing their routine. Not really. I don't know what's up with
that.
Yeah,
just like patrolling or something. They were just walking around.
So they just said, no, we can do nothing about it. And I remember I was just like laughing, but laughing in pain. Like, oh my God. Like I knew this would happen.
Remember how surprised you were when we were also in the city center? First, you was feeding the birds in the park. You was kind of surprised with that. Remember?
With a homeless man.
Yeah, exactly. He gave you what was there?
He gave me bird seeds. Bird seeds.
Yeah. You was feeding birds, and then you bought some little souvenirs from the African guy. Yeah. And when he saw Paul is coming around, he just like packed whatever he had, and he ran in where he went in bushes. Oh my! And he was like, "Oh wow." And I'm so lucky he gave me a change, because.
Yeah, I do remember he had it all prepared. Like he knew it was gonna happen eventually. He just pulled each corner of the bag. Yeah. The blanket, just pulled the whole blanket from the corners and went running. And the place where he hid was actually out of, like, people couldn't walk there. There was a whole line, like a tape. It was like not for the public. He didn't give a damn. He just went run behind the bushes. And I don't know how the cops didn't see him. The cops weren't that far away when he ran away. But I guess
they just don't want to chase him.
Yeah.
Because it's like, another one. There are a lot of those.
There were a lot of them. In Rome. Oh, no, that was in Paris, right? That was in Paris?
Exactly.
Yeah, that was in Paris, where I bought the little Eiffel Towers from him. But they're everywhere in Rome and in Paris, where they sell you these little things for very cheap. But they're always doing it in a way where police is trying to catch them. I don't know why. Maybe you need a permit to sell stuff in the street.
Yeah.
And that's Paris. Then we went to... what's the next city?
I forgot the name. It was Belgium.
My favorite.
Yeah. The city was insane. It had like everything, remember?
Mm-hmm.
everything we could think of.
Oh, but in that city, well, let me tell you, it was beautiful. It had like the architecture of Rome and like the creativity of France. It was just all mixed together, and the orderedness of Germany. But when we arrived, it was very dark, like, I don't know, 10, 11 p.m.
Ooh.
And we didn't have money, I guess, or we couldn't pay for the ticket somehow because the machine was weird.
I remember that.
Yeah, we just went inside the train without paying anything.
And I was so nervous.
Yeah, you were
and
so
you were
nervous.
so calm. I remember that.
I was calm, like, Roman, it's okay. They're not gonna do anything. But then I was so calm that it was bad because I wasn't grabbing onto anything while the tram was moving. And the tram gave like a hard stop. And then I fell on top of an old man. And he sort of catch me, but he got angry. He was like, in his language. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. And he's like, it's okay. And then that got you more scared. You were like, okay, Damien, that's it. We need to pay for this ticket. The police is gonna come. You were like, you didn't want security or anything to happen because you were already, like on nerves. And then I make this dumb accident in public.
I don't remember the reason why we didn't buy tickets, because I remember straight after we went out the train, or at least I bought a burger. I remember that I bought a burger. So I suppose we had money. I don't remember why we didn't buy the
I think that was maybe, I don't know if it was after or before, but I think it was the machine that wasn't accepting anything. I don't know. Maybe it was
not accepting cards, and maybe I paid for my burger with the card. That might be possible.
But when you talk about the burgers, those burgers were nice and they were affordable.
And we went to this nice hotel with this nice staff worker. There was an old lady. She was so nice. Remember her when she made breakfast for us, always talking to us really nicely. Oh, that was great.
She made this huge breakfast for us in the morning, like a movie. And then we were like, sorry, we gotta go.
Because she didn't tell us beforehand. That's why we were not prepared to.
Yeah, she didn't tell us. She just surprised us with this huge buffet, expecting us to stay for like an hour or two. And we're like, we have plans. We have a whole thing to do in one day.
Oh, you know what I also remembered?
What?
I don't remember which platform was that where I rented this hotel room. Maybe that was Airbnb. I'm not sure. But the thing is that I was texting with the owner, and the price was like 30 or 40 euros, which is so mediocre. I normally go cheaper, but we made a deal that it's for both of us. And when we came there, the lady was really surprised. She was saying that normally it goes like 40 or 30 euros per person. And I was like, no, I was texting with the owner and the deal was another one. And I showed her, and eventually we got this room only for the only for the price per one person.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of cheap. We saved some money, that's for sure. I remember I was so proud of that. Yo, Damien,
you made a deal, but then it was so strange because the guy forgot all over the deal, or the lady, and he was like, he's saying that you should pay this much, and you're like, but I told him talk to the Airbnb thing, to the staff, or I don't know what they did eventually, but it was so strange with the deal, but it was amazing. And then this room that you got, it was it had a beautiful view of the street and the city lights, and we were so surprised. We felt like millionaires or something. Remember, like, finally we had a room. I think we were sleeping on trains, and in Paris we slept in a very like ugly, like the walls were cracking. Where
were they? Paris, but man, that's a 10 euros hotel. There was a 10 euros hotel, and that was insane. I still remember the price.
Okay, it was good. It was good one for what it was, for sleeping.
Yeah, and Paris was so Not cheap. What's the opposite for cheap? Expensive. Paris was so expensive. You remember that?
Yeah, I
Oof.
remember that. I learned
So
so many tricks. Like we would go to the grocery store instead of restaurants, and then we would buy, ham and bread and cheese. We would make our own sandwiches.
yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember just walking with a huge baguette sandwich and just eating it all over the way. And I also bought some croissants, whatever, from Lidl, which is like just a basic supermarket.
Mhm.
And I was like, yo, damn it, these are real good.
Yeah, they
So they
were.
were the cheapest croissants from the supermarket. But I'm like, man, we're in France. They do it in a special way. I can taste it. It was so funny.
They did. They did. It's better there local. Even in a normal supermarket, it's better. Now with Brussels, that was my favorite city when we saw the huge atom. They have this huge, like,
Which
what
was
is
an
it?
exhibition.
Exhibition, like a museum. It is like 3 floors, but it looks like the shape of an atom with the straight lines and those little like neutrons.
So insane. There was an
Insane.
exhibition for 80s or 70s, something like that, but it still stands there. So good, like must visit for everyone.
And a nuclear energy. And they had an artist, that guy with an apple in the face, Rene something, Margaret. It's amazing. I've been looking at that artist ever since, like as a memory. Like just Googling, like what's the painting with a guy with an apple, and then I found it, and he has pretty cool art. And then with the purchase of that ticket, we got the wax museum,
Yeah,
and it was all about Russian Soviet era.
Soviet design, which was really surprising, and yeah, it was unexpected.
Yeah, they had like
Unexpected.
old cars, old TVs, chairs, everything. And I remember the guy told us specifically not to touch stuff, and I was touching stuff, like just literally like poking it. And then he came to me, he had to come and like, I saw you touching stuff, and I'm like, no, I wasn't. And he's like, I have cameras. And I'm like, okay, I won't do it again.
You thought the cameras were a part of exhibition too. That's why I didn't pay attention.
What was your favorite part of Brussels?
Ooh, yeah, definitely that exhibition. I almost forgot about it, but you reminded me. And yeah, remember those? What are those stairs? Escalators
Yeah,
or something?
yeah, the
Yeah,
electric
with
stairs.
the neon lights coming to you as long as you slide down. Oh,
Yeah, it was so cool.
exhibition, 100%.
And then sometimes you would go up instead of down, and there would be like clouds hanging, these little
Yeah.
decorations. It was very nice. And okay, then we went from Brussels and we took a train to what
Back
city was it?
home. Did we take a train? I
I
remember
remember
we
we
were
took a train
traveling with the train. We were taking train
to the airport.
to the airport. Yeah. I
Okay.
remember I was calling my friend and like, hey, guess where I am? I'm in
Okay.
Brussels airport. Yeah, and we definitely took a flight because we were flying back to Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
And that would take us at least a day, I guess, to travel from Brussels to Berlin by train. That's why we took a flight. And yeah, as long as we're coming to Berlin, it's like cool. Taking train to our city, which was Frankfurt Oder, which is like 1 hour away from Berlin, and home sweet home.
Frankfurt ordered. Now I remember that it was stressful when we bought the train ticket to the airplane because we were asking for help. You were trying your best with the German because you, out of both of us, you knew the more. You were the best at German language, and they spoke a little bit of that there. And I think
Wait, that was in Brussels.
it was in
In Brussels.
Brussels, but I think that the helper spoke German. But you were speaking, you were mixing languages, like little words of this and that, until he sort of understood the message. And he helped us buy the ticket because you had to do it electronically. We were trying in the computer, it didn't work. Helped us. But literally, when we stepped in the train, it was like 2 minutes after the train just left. And I'm like, whoa.
I remember that was stressful, yeah.
Well, I didn't know that we would have missed the train by 2 minutes.
That's just crazy to think about it. Like, imagine just 2 minutes more. No, I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, the whole trip. what was so funny to me is that it really tested our friendship because it was so stressful that there was times when we wouldn't speak, not because we were angry with each other, but we were so annoyed of all the walking and the traveling, and
I kind of remember what you're talking about.
there was a silence like
Yeah,
sometimes when we would walk.
I remember there was a lot of silence where we were checking out from hotels or just moving from Airbnbs. Remember what I've called homeless mode on.
Yes, yes,
Because that's how we
that's what it
felt.
was.
Yeah, we just had a certain time with all our bags on, and we just had to kind of spend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember that was really like uncomfortable. Yeah, I even remember we were in Milan. We were in sitting in coffee, and yeah, everyone just was, I don't know, sitting on their phone, like, bro, you good? Yeah, I'm good. All right, yeah. And we were not talking. We were just chilling. Yeah,
Yeah,
which is absolutely all right, I suppose, because yeah, there was a long trip.
it
Yeah,
was.
that
Uh,
that was cool.
it was so cool. We did the best. It was the best experience I had. But it didn't feel like that during the moment. I remember I kept telling you like, this is so painful. But I know in like 2 months from here, I'll be talking about this experience like it was the best. And when we arrived home, I don't know if I told you, but I definitely did not want to travel anymore after that. I was like, that's it. I don't want no more.
I remember that was the end of my Erasmus program. That's why I wanted to travel so much, because I knew that in a week or two I'll be
Mm.
gone. That's why it was so intense.
Okay, that makes sense. Because after you left, really, I don't think I did much traveling anymore. No, it
Yeah.
was just like from there to Berlin.
How long was you living?
I
You,
was well, maybe like you stayed for 6 months, right? And I stayed for a year extra.
a year extra.
Yeah, and I didn't do much traveling after that.
Oof.
I was so burned out. I did a little bit, but it wasn't that much. I went to Krakow and to the concentration camps. I was visiting those.
Mm.
You know,
I remember
Auschwitz.
we visited one as well.
Oh yeah, in Germany. Oh yeah, I visited one. I behaved the worst. But I don't think I would talk about it. But it's a place that you're not supposed to be laughing or smiling. And then I
Yeah.
was making some dumb jokes.
Uh,
Well, there's one dumb joke that I would like to say was we had a friend, an Italian friend. He was very funny, very silly, and we were reading some history, terrible history. Like it made me feel like sad about how these people would walk. They would be
yeah.
marched in the very early morning every day, and if they were too weak to keep walking, the guards would come in there and just shoot them, and they would die and lay on the floor. And then the
Uh,
next people, like the next half hour, they would also come out walking, and they would see their friends on the floor. They would just see them, and that was shocking. And I was trying to make it relatable to us because it feels like many years later. And I came up with a relatable story, but it made me laugh instead of, because I was like, oh, imagine, Roman, like we are in this time and we are marching, and then all of a sudden you see Mario on the floor,
oof.
and it's terrible. But for some reason, with my nerves and the situation, because it's not the appropriate place to make jokes.
You
And
started laughing.
it's a silly friend too. Yeah, and I started laughing. And you were like, Damien, please, Damien.
Mm.
You were the one most of the time stopping me.
Hold on. You was making that joke another time, not when we traveled there.
Uh,
Or when was it?
it was
That was without me, isn't it?
huh?
This joke was during the traveling without me, isn't it?
Without
I was
my
not in the
friend.
travel
It was with you on the grounds. Like we were in,
grounds.
we were inside the camp, but not really inside. We were like on the outer part of the camp, walking, and there was like like paragraphs on the wall that you could read the story. And
And there were two of us.
Yeah, only you and me.
Ooh. You said I don't even remember that.
Oh, wow. Okay, only you and me. And I'm like, whoa, imagine, Norman, if you were in this time, we were walking, and then we would find Mario on the floor.
Mario.
His real name is not Mario, right? But I would say this is how relatable it would be. And for some reason, that made me laugh. And anyways, we had people behind us, and I'm like, oh shit, this is not the place. This is not the place. Anyways,
don't worry about it.
Those concentration camps were very scary because the story. And I remember that one we went to was like a triangle shape. And the reason it was a triangle, it was because at the very tip of the point, they would have a machine gun and they would just be able to scan the whole place. Yeah. And I remember reading that if the soldiers could kill anybody who was trying to escape, like shoot him, they would get a bonus in money, and then they would get like a 3-day vacation. So it was an incentive to do that. I was like, damn, the psychology there to motivate someone to shoot a person trying to escape. You reward them with money and a vacation.
Yeah.
And it's a hard topic. It is crazy. Let's move to a better, nicer topic, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Let's move to a nicer one. Because there's a lot of that. Anyways, so we went to 5 days. Well, for me, 5 days, 5 cities. It was Milan, Rome, Paris, Belgium, and I guess Berlin at the end of it.
So the country is Belgium. Is it? So the city was Brussels, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Now that clarified for me. All right.
Amazing cities. My favorite of all those cities, that one is it. They speak all the languages. They speak English, German, I think French, and is there another one? Did they speak?
There was one, but I don't remember it.
And then in the stores, they have all the produce. They have the like German chocolate or German sausage, and then they have French cheese. They have everything. What's your favorite city in Europe? You've been there for many years.
Barcelona, for sure.
Also Brussels?
Barcelona.
Yeah, Barcelona.
Spain. Yeah, this one is bossy.
Dude, we have another story there where we got scammed. You remember?
Oh, that was not really a scam, but yeah, that was quite pity.
Yeah. You want to tell
you're talking about how you and Anton missed your flight.
No, but that's another story. No, when we
you mean the restaurant story?
Yeah.
Ooh. That was also not a scam because we just didn't ask for prices and.
So what? Can I tell it?
So for sure.
So we were hungry in Barcelona, trying to look for a restaurant to eat, and then we just picked one at random. I guess somebody was like, "Hey, come here." I think everybody was saying this, like, "Come here to eat," and we just picked one of those, and the lady gave us the menu. But I call it a scam because she didn't give us enough time to decide. We were looking at the menu, and then maybe in like 2 minutes she came and she was like, "You know what? What about if I just start you with this and that, and then you can decide later on or something." And then she started bringing food, like all these tapas, which is a bread with something on top, and then she brought like a ham, and just kept bringing more and more. I guess
it's called tapas.
Yeah, tapas, and anyways,
damn tapas.
The whole time you weren't so hungry. I think you wanted to go somewhere else. Or
I'll remind you that after you're done with the story.
Okay, so we were eating, like Anton and me. We were like, yeah, this is the best. Oh my god, this tastes so good. Then at the end, they give us the check, and the check is like everything is in double digits, like 34, 42, 68, and at the end, the check is like 250 something. And Anton,
was it 200?
It was a lot. I can't remember. It was 200, but it was like definitely in the hundreds.
It was less than 100.
No,
I thought.
I think it was, well, the way I remember, either way, it was like a lot. And I remember Anton was making this joke, like serious and not serious. He was like, Barcelona has another coin, right? This is not euros. And then he would ask the server, excuse me, is this in Barcelona money? And then she was like, no, that's euros. I can see it so much. And we felt bad with you because you were telling us, you were warning us about something. What were you saying all this time?
I was so annoying. Yeah, like we were in the city center when we decided to have some meal. And I was so annoying because I was always saying like, oh, how much does this cost? Or how much does that cost? And when we entered and I didn't see some prices, I was like, for how much? He was like, Roman, calm down. Let's just eat. And I couldn't. That's why I was asking. I was worried.
Yeah.
And I remember she started showing us those different tapas. And I'm like, cool. For how much? And I just remember when I was turning like my head and I was looking at you and you guys were staring at me like, dude, stop it. You're just embarrassing. I'm like, okay, maybe I should let it go. So that's when we sat down, we started eating. And as far as I remember, check was something around 75, actually.
Okay.
Which is still quite big because it's in the city center, but it was not above the 100. So it was not that bad as you remember. Yeah, it was something
I
around
hope.
700, which was still a lot. And yeah, and that's why Anton proposed to, like, how about me and Damon just split the check and you leave the tips.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember it. Now you make a lot
that's
of
how we did
sense.
it.
That's
Yeah.
why, because it was like a cartoon story, like a lesson in a children's book. Because you were like, guys, no, let's talk about price. Let's ask how much. And then Anton was telling you, dude, you're on a trip. Like, please just let's just enjoy. Let's just go anywhere. And I'm like, yeah, Anton, you're right. Let's just go anywhere and enjoy. And then you're warning us, like, no, we gotta ask prices. No, this. And then we get hit with this massive check because we didn't ask for prices. And we felt so bad, like, oh my God, like you were so right about asking for prices. And we didn't make you pay. We split it between me and Anton.
But I also was feeling a bit sorry about it because I was like, okay, yeah, my friend, you didn't listen to me, but we are still friends, and like, come on, what the hell? And I remember I went when we checked in the hotel. I went to supermarket and I bought some groceries. I remember just
Yeah.
for my own money, just to share it with you.
By the way, that hotel was the best. Wasn't it like 10 euros? And it was like super fancy inside.
Yeah. With the swimming pool and stuff. I remember.
With a swimming pool. And you guys went, right?
Yeah, in the morning. Remember,
Oh yeah, we
I
did.
wanted to swim in it so bad. Yeah, but it was closed during the night. It opened only at 10 in the morning, and yeah, it was cold. The staff warned us that it needs to warm up, but we were like, no, we're going right now. We were taking some fancy photos there. I remember because it was on top of the building, and I just jumped in the cold water. Ugh, I was so shocked. Then I jumped the
Yeah.
second time, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm just taking the hot shower, and we're moving to the airport.
You guys were crazy. It was freezing cold. You two just, I think you said something about that's what you do in your country or in
That's
Russia.
correct.
Or in Russia, you do take cold plunges. And
We have a special holiday when some people do that. Yeah, I don't.
is it in Ukraine too?
Yeah.
Not only Russian.
Yeah.
And what is it? What is the holiday thing?
It's some religious holiday when you basically go to river in winter and you swim in cold water. Yeah, because it symbolizes your religiousness. Yeah. That's how it works. That's the best I can explain. Believe me. I don't
It's all
know
right.
much.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Religion does all types of things. So you jumped into that freezing water, and then
Hell yeah.
Anton, I think, also did it. I didn't do it. I'm like, you guys are crazy. And then we went to the airport. Well, we took a bus. I remember the bus was like some euros, and we were
Was
like,
it a
guys,
bus?
no, we didn't take the bus at the end because it cost money,
We
and
took the subway.
I was like, we can just take the subway to the.
Oh, now I remember we went to the city center because Google was showing me that we can take a bus from the city center to the airport.
Yeah.
We found those buses and we came to drivers and they said like, no, we don't do that trip. We don't drive like that.
That's
Oh,
what it
wow,
was then.
what?
That's what
Yeah,
it
we're
was.
running out of time. So we went to this subway and it was so complicated. You remember that?
It was, and it was thanks to one guy who was carrying like a pizza box. He was a worker for delivering, and thanks to him, because we were striking a conversation, he told us, "Oh, for the airport, you have to get out at this particular station," and that's the only
And he knew
reason.
that because he was living close to the airport. That's what
Yeah,
I remember.
that's the only reason. And then we made it to the airport. You got in the plane. Me and Anton stayed behind. We didn't make it, all because Anton had his passport, his ticket on the phone, and then his battery died.
Yeah,
That's the only reason.
that was crazy. Yeah, I still remember that scene when we were in the subway and he's telling me, "Hey Roman, you know what? My phone is discharged. Don't even know what to do with that." I'm like, dude, think about it. You should carry this stuff. And yeah, I also remember when we were in the subway. Oh, the subway system in Barcelona is like it's like that. It's so complicated. We went out on the station that was like from other line or something. We couldn't get out. We couldn't get out of this station because our ticket was not working. Remember, even security
Yes,
staff told us like, bro, that's another line. You have to buy a new ticket. And
I
I
remember.
was remember no, I was not remembering the Paris story at that point, but I wanted to climb and just run. But he looked so
Yes.
fit, that I decided, all right, we'll just buy the ticket. And the craziest thing is that I remember, so in every flight ticket, you have the gate closed
Mm-hmm.
sign.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it was exactly that time. And we're just running from the subway. I'm like, are we going to make it out? I'm not
Oh,
sure.
you
Oh
made
yeah,
it. You
I
definitely
made
made
it.
it.
I ran to our gate. We still had time, and I remember those guys who were at the gate, and I was like, "My friends, they are there. They have tickets. They are coming. They just need time. Please do something."
Yeah.
And the best they could do is just to announce that, "Hey guys, we're waiting you at gate number ta 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 something." I was waiting until the very last moment, I tell you, until they came to me and they said like, "Sir, you better go to the airplane because we're really close." I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oof, all right, man. Just can you announce it one more time?" Yeah, and I was waiting. I was very last person who entered the airplane, and I was sitting, hoping till the very last moment that the door closed. I'm like, oh my god, guys stayed in Barcelona. What the hell? Oh,
Well, thank you for that. You really tried. I tried with Anton like to enter the website on my phone and put
yeah,
his account, and for some reason that wouldn't work. And then I tried to talk to the people below, like a help desk, to help us print it or something. They wouldn't either, and we eventually just missed it. And then we started talking to the helping person there. Anton was so angry.
yeah,
He wasn't like screaming angry. He was just like a very annoyed customer. Like, how can this be possible that you cannot print us the ticket and this and that? And
yeah.
they had to get the manager involved. But they kept speaking in Spanish to him, which I didn't like. Like I don't know. It was so weird. No, they spoke English actually. No, they spoke English, but I
But
spoke
not too much, I
Spanish.
guess.
I spoke Spanish to them, so maybe like we could understand ourselves better. But even with that, no, like the manager could do absolutely nothing. All we had to do was book another flight the next day, and we stayed in Barcelona one extra day. He got a hostel, and then his running joke was, "Oh, now we're in the real Barcelona," because everything was like very not popular parts of the city. It was just like really out of the city in the outer area
Yeah.
where you just see people walking their dogs and kids playing in the street. And the pizza is like very cheap. Like a whole pizza is like €5 or something like that. And we
Uh,
bought pizza to the hotel room, and he kept saying that like, "Nah, we're enjoying the real Barcelona. This is it." And it was nice. Then the next day we caught the flight. He bought me a beer in the airport.
I remember that.
You know, kind of like a nice gesture for what happened. And that's it. We entered the airplane. We left,
Yeah.
and that was the end of our Barcelona trip.
Exactly. That was our first trip together. I
Yeah.
remember that because it was just the beginning of semester and I've seen everyone traveling around. And I remember coming to your room and saying, like, bro, everyone is traveling. We gotta do a trip. Let's, I don't know, let's take the random date and buy tickets. And that's how we bought our tickets for Barcelona. And actually, when I left Barcelona first, I was feeling like a bad friend actually, because even though I was asking people at the gate like, "Hey, do whatever you can," I still felt bad because like, did I make everything I could? But yeah, I remember I also made a pizza for you guys
Oh,
and
you did.
compote, which is a national
Compot.
juice.
That's where I learned it.
That's yeah, that's what I also did when you guys came. I remember you came when I was taking a shower and you noticed what I've prepared in the
Yeah.
kitchen with a little welcome
Yes.
paper.
It was
Yeah,
great.
I remember Anton was asking, like, "Hey, did you prepare that?" I
Yes.
was like, "Prepared what?" I'm like, all right, verified. Thank you. Anyway.
That was such an amazing gesture. We arrived after a long trip, and yeah, there was a pizza on the table with a note and a juice de compote that you had there freshly made, and we're like, "Oh my god, like, wow!" Roman really welcomed us. But the funny thing is that in Barcelona we had pizza that same day, that same night that we missed the flight, and I was just thinking like, "Oh my god, how comical that I had pizza
Mm,
last night and now I have pizza here." Like
yeah,
Roman
yeah,
made
yeah.
pizza. Kind of like an irony, like that's
Uh,
the previous pizza is like the pizza of regret, and now this is the, I don't know,
yeah,
success pizza.
exactly. This one is German. It's like
Yeah,
little home for you.
that was very nice. And then from you making compote, I liked it a lot. I loved it. It's like he made this drink. For those who don't know what compote is, maybe it's better if you say it because it's actually more part
Yeah,
of your
sure.
culture than mine. Like you know better than I do.
Yeah, so just basically what you do, you put water inside a pot, then you bring fruits. Those are normally apples, some berries, yeah, and you add sugar. You mix it out well, and you start boiling the water. So the juice from fruits kind of boils out, if that makes any sense. And that's how you get the natural juice. Um, yeah, that's basically it. Everyone loves it.
It's a very simple recipe. It's just what you said: put a bunch of fruits, boil the water, add sugar, and that's
Yeah,
it. And it was
it's that
amazing.
simple.
And then you would put it in a jar, or no, not the same cooking pot, and you would put
Yeah.
it actually outside the window, which made me laugh because I didn't know that strategy. It was so cold in Germany at that time, like snow, that instead of fitting it in the fridge because it was so big, he just left it outside the window.
Yeah,
And it works perfect. It was fresh, and it never expired.
exactly. I remember when I was waking up in the mornings, opening the window, like, here you go. Pouring me a glass of comfort, and I was feeling life, man. That's
Yes.
so good.
Oh my.
I was like, what a blessed morning.
Yeah. Next to some waking up to some fresh compote open window.
And remember, me and Anton were always screaming Eshkere.
Yeah. Eshkara.
Yeah, because
All
there
the
was
time.
it was like 2017 or 2018 where Lil Pump, there's an American rapper who was popular, and that was his popular phrase. And yeah, we were fans, so we were just screaming it all the time. And I still have video where I wake up in the morning, open the window, pour me a glass. I'm like, he's alive, guys. I was
What?
screaming at it just in the street early in the morning.
Where did you post that video?
It's somewhere. It's somewhere in
Mm.
my camera roll. I was not really posting it. I
But
still
not,
wonder if I wonder if I still have it. But
I
I just remember that. Yeah, that was
you and
I don't
Anton
know
love the raps.
that.
You
Hell
and
yeah.
Anton, it was so fun. I remember one time it was the night and then we were rapping, like freestyling.
That was so good. You were singing, I remember.
It was and I have the recording still in my phone. I still
Nice.
have them. And it was so funny because you two were better than me. You two is like your hobby. And you two have videos, actual professional looking videos of rapping. I don't. And then you guys were rapping so cool, flowing the words, and then Damien, your turn. Like you just point at me, and I'm like, the street goes this way, and then you go and walk, and you guys just start laughing like, dude. What are you
Oh, I
saying?
remember. Oh, I can remember. Please send me those recordings. I
I can
want
send
to
you.
hear.
I have the. It was so. And then you guys were just like encouraging me, like, oh yeah, the street, and I'm like walking with two hands, and oh, two hands, yeah. I'm just like, okay, thank you. Those
That's
are
what
fun
it's
moments.
about.
Um, then my favorite part of waking up in the morning in that apartment was I would be cooking my like egg and onion sausage, and then you guys would come in, and I had my music playing, the
Yeah,
little like 1930s music
yeah. Some old
playing.
American music. I remember that.
It was so cool.
Yeah,
And then you said you liked that, you started liking that music.
I still do. I still listen to that because of
Nice.
you, David.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
some really old jazz.
Yeah, like the ink spots don't want to set the world on fire.
Oof,
It's one of the songs.
that's the best one.
Cooking in the morning with a nice sun
Hell yeah.
on
You
the.
set me on this music, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. You and Anton got me into rap music at that time. I remember
Cool.
my favorite one, my favorite memory, which I also have a video of, is when we were in the car of Anton driving to the grocery store. It's like maybe 2 days that I met you too, and then you blast this music in Russian, the Saint Petersburger burger.
Yeah, I remember
By
that.
Face, the artist. Yeah,
Nice.
you started turning the music up, and I'm just
It
like,
was
oh my
such a big
god,
hit at that time. Oh my god.
I'm in a foreign country with this two, I don't know, Russians. To me, there's like Russian music, and then Slovakian, Ukrainian. I don't know
Yeah,
what's going on, but it looked like, those videos where there's people in the car just listening to music and jumping, like with
yeah.
vodka. And I'm like, oh, this feels so cool. And I started taking a video.
I remember that video. Yeah. I also remember you introduced me to Pink Guy with his raps.
Yeah, he.
I was so surprised because afterwards I discovered who Pink Guy was on YouTube and who was the Filthy Frank and all that stuff. Yeah, you know that?
Yes, is Yo-Yo, I think is his artist name, and then
Joji.
Joji, and Filthy Frank is his weird persona. Yeah, he has two personas, which is what you're talking about. That it's funny. He has a super
Yeah.
silly, nasty like videos, and then he has like super professional music on the side.
First, he was doing YouTube. Afterwards, he switched to his music career. That's when he became Joji.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, was you ever listening to Joji
Yeah,
music?
I was listening. He has some weird songs, but my favorite is like uh, I mean, it's not right to say, but I think it says "Go kill yourself." It
Ah,
was
yeah.
one of the strangest music.
Please kill
Kill
yourself. But
yourself.
that was in the pimp guy era.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I actually got something to show you
Okay.
real quick.
Yes,
I'll go to
please.
my closet real quick and I come back. It's like a few seconds. Hold
All
on.
right. All right. Now we're waiting for him to get his stuff. So let me do some talking in the meantime. In this apartment in Germany, it was 5 roommates. It was Anton, Roma, me, and then I don't remember the other guys' names, but it was 2 people from capital city of Mexico. But I normally hanged out with Roman and Anton the most. So I was just filling up the air with how the apartment was and the friends.
That's the right thing to do. You could make a little promo in this gap. Like, hey, subscribe, click the like button.
Smash the like button, guys. As they always say. And subscribe.
So the reason I started talking about Pin Guide because I was really into that thing. Like his whole YouTube career, all those YouTube videos were like so crazy for me. Like I became a big fan. And when he stopped doing videos and started making music, I was like music as well. So like I'm a huge Georgie fan. And yeah, I just wanted to show you this.
Ah, it's so cool. He's showing a shirt with
that
you say it.
yeah, that's a shirt that was made by me actually.
Oh, you
All
made
this
it?
thing, yes, I made it in
Wow.
Photoshop and just printed it out because I was such a huge fan and I wanted to make a t-shirt with with one of
Wow,
my favorite
dude.
artists.
Well, let me explain what I'm looking at. He has a shirt black in the background, but the middle is Joji holding a microphone, then another one with a cell phone. It's like a collage of him.
Yeah.
And then the style at the top where it says Joji looks like the style of JoJo, the anime. And then under it says Japan born,
Japan born.
but in a really cool orange and red letters. And then under is like if it was a movie promotional DVD.
Yeah. And actually, you can tell it was made by me because one of those logos underneath is this one, Kherson Studio. Kherson is my home city.
Oh.
There is no such studio. I just made it up. So it's like a little hint.
That is so cool. Where did you make
it? Was made by me. And here's the back.
Papa Franco. We miss you as well. He made up. It's a ramen noodle bowl, and Frank is in it, like showering in it. But what is he doing with his hands? He has a leek. One of those vegetables.
Yeah,
he's smoking a cigar with sunglasses.
Yeah, so you set me on some good stuff, my boy.
That is so cool. I can't believe you could sell those. Well, then it would be copyright. I don't know, but you could.
Yeah, I just made one for myself.
That is so nice. How do you where do you go? In Berlin they have some place, or where you live they have some? I keep thinking you live in Berlin.
Because I will.
Yes. You will.
Yeah, this shirt was made actually in Ukraine because it's simply cheaper.
Did you post it like online website, or you went physically to like a little booth?
I went physically, yes. So first I was designing the print in Photoshop, and then I just texted to one studio, you can say so, and I just like, hey, can you print it out? Yeah, it turned out expensive a bit, but I was like, it's worth it. I want to have that shirt.
It's a unique one. I mean, you made it, so that's so cool.
Thank you.
Man, I'm so proud of you. You got what? You got rap videos. You make your own shirt. You do now marketing videos, and you rap videos. I think I already said it. Is there anything you don't do? You do a lot of computer stuff. Yeah. Oh, and then you got cheap flights. I remember you had this website, Russian that would scan every other website and give you the cheapest options.
Oh, I guess I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was amazing. I was like, my goodness, this dude, so happy he speaks Russian because he can get these deals.
Yeah, but the cheapest flights in Europe are actually available on Skyscanner.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Russian though, but yeah, that's like the best.
Oh, I still use that one, even in
Yeah,
America.
Skyscanner is great.
Mm-hmm. That is really, really good. And it's legal. Yes.
Yeah.
I guess.
Surprisingly, yes.
But that's so nice. What else can we talk about?
I don't know. It's morning in States.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah, it is 2:20 p.m. here. But then what time is it with you?
PM. It's 21:20.
9:20.
Yeah, 9:20.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
going to sleep right after this podcast. That's for sure.
Imagine that it's a podcast.
By the way, why did you have the terrible sleeping schedule you was texting me about?
Oh yeah, it's actually a funny story because I just started sleeping terribly, like 2 in the morning, 12, 3. I've been doing homework nonstop because I'm finishing my master's degree.
Oh my God, you're still doing homework. Oh my God.
Yeah, still doing homework. It's my last 2 weeks, and just for information, it's a business psychology degree. But the point is, I thought I was sleeping terrible because I was so focused on homework that, I don't know, somehow woke me up. But then turns out, I think yesterday I figured out I was taking a lot of vitamins for my stomach because I have a acid problem. And one of those vitamins was green tea extract. And I was just quitting the vitamins, like taking a break because I was taking it for like 2 weeks. Turns out the green extract tea has caffeine. And when I looked it up in Google, like how much milligrams per of green tea equals caffeine, I was taking actually a cup of coffee every day. Like because you have to pay, like get 2 pills this time and then 2 pills the next meal. But in total, I'm taking a cup of coffee every day. And then that's how I figure out. I just felt like shit the next day when I quit the pills, and I'm like, that's so strange. I feel like the same way I feel when I drink coffee for too long and then I stop cold turkey. That's when I investigated the pills. And yeah, that explains a lot why I couldn't sleep. And it also explains a lot why I could do homework like so focused, because I was doing like 5 hours of straight up, typing on the computer, searching for stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel so good. I've never felt the best. It turns out it was caffeine. And it's just, yeah, for many people, it's okay to drink a cup of coffee every day. But for me, I tend to really stay away from anything that sort of makes the body find energy.
Yeah, to change.
Yeah, anything that changes the body, I try to avoid. And whenever I do get something like that, my body's very sensible to it. So it was very sensible to the caffeine, and then when I stopped, even more sensible. So that's why.
How's your stomach now?
It's better, I guess. It's an ongoing thing. It happens when I'm stressed out. So school, it gets worse. It's like an acid reflux.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I eat food no matter how much, and then it's like the acid just comes up, and I always feel full, or it burns like a little bit at the bottom, not really the throat, but a little bit lower. And it got so bad that even drinking water would burn my stomach. I just felt like if you eat a lot of spicy food, you feel that just by drinking water. I'm like, this is very, very wrong. So I started taking omeprazole, which is acid inhibitor, something like it stops the stomach from making more acid extra. And then I would take Tums, which is like it calms down the acidity. Right. So it's not so powerful. And yeah, so I was taking those pills, and then on top of that, I was taking other vitamins for healing the stomach, which is like some calcium carcinate and green tea extract. There's a red powder that it's like a spice for food, a turmeric. Just taking a bunch of things at the same time. So I was taking so much. It improved. It improved a lot right now. I don't have that issue when I drink water, or when I go to sleep, I can sleep better. But I think it's just momentarily, to be honest with you. I hope it's like once I finish school, it's over. But the pill thing, I also have a very drastic diet nowadays where I gave up bread and mostly wheat. Because
yeah, I get it.
Wheat is everywhere. Like what is like bread, cookies, pasta,
different tortillas,
yes. Wheat everywhere. So now I changed it to potato bread, which is amazing. There's a bread made of that. It tastes just the same. It's just thicker. And then I changed tortillas to the ones made of corn. And then instead of even potato chips, it's so annoying. Potato chips I can, but most of them I can't. Like the ones that are like puffy Cheetos, let's say, or those that have shapes that is definitely not made out of potato.
Those are made of corn, aren't they?
I don't know. Are they?
I don't know. I think so.
I haven't tried it, but with the ones I did try, that no, I don't know. Oh, you're so right. Those are potato chips. Yeah, you're so right. I don't know why I changed the potato chips now that I'm talking to you. The normal potato chips, I switched those to like Doritos. Triangular
Doritos are made of corn, right?
They're made of corn. But now that I'm talking to you, potato chips are made of potato.
Yes, sir.
I can't eat potatoes. I've been avoiding them all this time. I feel so dumb.
Don't worry about it. I also got a little bit confused, but that's okay.
Comprehensible. So yeah, I changed my whole diet. Somehow my stomach is getting better. Yeah, as long as I don't get too stressed. But you know what I learned about having too many things in my plate, let's say, too many things to do, is I have a limit. There's I do homework, and then I can't tell, like any other things in the private life, that I do, like chores, this and that, and then somebody calls me, I have to call someone, etc. If I want to go out, I can't. I'm too stressed. I can't talk to people normally now, because I'll always have homework in my head. Like, instead of eating in this restaurant, I could be doing homework.
When are you finishing all that? When are you finishing the homework? When are you graduating?
2 weeks. And
in 2 weeks.
February 28th is the last day I turn in the homework.
Nice.
And it's this 100-page book essay.
Thesis.
Yeah, it's a thesis. It's super long. So every day, like even before I was doing this podcast with you, like just 30 minutes ago, I was doing the homework. Just writing something. It's heavy. But now you finish yours.
Yeah, long time ago, luckily.
Please tell me, how do you feel after you finished? Like, did you feel this sense of freedom?
Kind of, yes. I just realized that I was studying something wrong all the time, because I was studying marketing. It's not the worst. It's not a rocket science or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I shouldn't be a director, like a film director or video director, because that's what I'm doing right now. Editing videos. I'm making the videos up. And yeah, so it felt a bit like a waste of time, actually, this whole education thing. But I don't know. It just, life keeps going. And I guess after spending time for something that you don't really like. Maybe I would be only more passionate about stuff that I do like. So
Hmm.
I'm just trying to take advantage of all that. That's the best I can do.
Yeah, you reminded me a lot of what I've been thinking about when chasing a degree and then you don't get the job of that degree.
I was so shocked by that actually. That you
Yeah.
had to go to China after that. That was so crazy for me, even still, because like you live in States and
Yes.
you got your degree in States, and people all around the world are only dreaming about getting to States, and do a job there. But you got degree in there, and you couldn't get a job, and you had to fly to China.
Yeah.
That was insane to me,
Yeah, it
even
really
still.
it really was like an insult that I couldn't get a job of my
Yeah.
degree in the US and I had to move to a whole country and the whole ocean away to get a job. Yeah, it really sucked. But the amazing part of that is I met my fiance now, Shirley, and that was like what I got out of it. It's like great, you know, it's worth it. But it is crazy that you mentioned it.
Yeah.
I was going to say another thing about degrees because, oh yeah, if I have children, I think I would just encourage them to do, when I have children, I would encourage them to do, what do you call it, vocal schools or vocation schools? Yeah.
What are those?
Uh, like when you study something physical, like a plumber, like electrician, like
Oh, okay.
air conditioner repairman.
Hmm.
So far, because right now my bachelor's is in psychology. I never got a job anything psychology related, other than teaching, but that's far fetched. And then my master's again is business psychology. I don't know if it's gonna work out, but I just want a master's. Then sometimes
Let's
I
hope.
think if I would have gotten, like a more practical degree, I would get a job straight out of college. Because
Mm.
my older brother, he didn't finish college, but he became an electrician, and he gets paid like more than me, like a lot more. And I remember when I was, sometimes working at jobs that pay a lot less than he, and I would be like, my goodness, I studied for 4 years, and he didn't. And he's getting more. He's getting more
Mm.
money. And then he got me the job that he had, and he got me like the same pay he had. Um,
Mm.
but I found
When
out
you was
everybody.
working at the factory, aren't you? That was
Yeah,
was
that
it
was
this
before
job?
China. That was
I
before
remember
China.
that.
We were earning like a lot of money, like $22 an hour, which is a lot for somebody with no degree.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think all the requirement was, be drug free and a high school diploma
Hmm.
or GRE if you didn't even have a high school diploma. And I was like, and then there's people who have degrees getting paid 15 an hour. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, it feels like a scam.
Yeah.
It feels,
This whole education system
yeah.
is a huge
Especially,
scam.
I realized it's about the demand and supply, because there's not many people going for vocational anymore, like electricians. And so they pay more for those because there's less people willing to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Degrees, there's so many more nowadays. And now that you're doing your own thing with the marketing, and I want to do my own thing with the podcast, whether I get paid or not, right? But
Yeah.
I also feel like when I'm doing my degree, I don't want to really work on what I'm studying, because what I'm studying, like technically, literally what I'm studying is like a researcher. I run statistics, I do experiments with people,
Oh.
and then give the results to the person, and I'm just like, I can improve your business by this much, and I can improve your money by this much. Just let me change your rules, and let me motivate your employees this way and this way. It's like a research, and I hate research. But there's a side that is about coaching, like coaching people But to me, it's like common sense, like treat your employees right, give them a good reward, give them this, give them that, and then you get more efficiency, etc. And I'm like, regardless, if I want to do that job, and nobody hires coaches, like that job is something that you do on your own, kind of like you're doing freelancing with your project.
Yeah.
Mine would be the similar, like I would be freelancing, reaching out to businesses and be like, oh, I can coach you, I can improve your business, and they'll be like, no, you can't. And I'll be like, yeah, I have a degree. Yeah, but do you have experience doing it? I'm like, no. I've never done it. I never worked in a company either. So it's a bit, strange. Like you study for one thing, but
And
either
I
way.
feel you. Yeah. But anyway, you're finishing in 2 weeks. That's great.
Yes.
And you also have all your perfect grades. I mean, you put really a lot of effort in this degree.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, let's just hope for the best.
Always 4.0 GPA. Even now.
4.0?
Yeah, I think in Europe it's not that way. In America, there's something called GPA. I don't know what it stands for, but 4 is the maximum. Like if you get all perfect grades, or you can get some B's and C's, but as long as the most of it is perfect A's, then you have a perfect score at the end.
Congrats on that. Wow.
Thank you. I've been working so hard. I think that's what messes me up the most with stress, because I want a perfect 4.0. Because I remember in high school and my bachelor's degree, I was smart, but smart enough to get away from doing too much work. I'll be like, okay, what's enough so I could get a C? What's enough so I could pass? Yeah. I would exactly do that. Like the teacher would say, I want an essay of 3 to 5 pages or 3 to 8 pages. I'll say, okay, 3 pages. I'll give you 3. I never do anything more than you need. And I passed. Like it was good. But I always thought of a specific person in my mind in high school who was like a student who didn't care anything about school, and he would always mess in class with the teacher and be that rowdy student. And he would always say, I could pass in this class, but I don't want to. And the teachers would also say, you're so smart, but you don't even try. And then one time he showed us, he tried.
Yeah.
And he made us all shut up. He really was very smart. And I'm like, oh my God, this dude, he started going to the advanced classes, because we have separate classes, normal and advanced. And I just couldn't believe how this guy made it to the advanced. Like he was telling the truth all this time. And I was thinking maybe I'm like that too, because I'm always going for the C's on purpose. And let me just challenge myself and see if I'm actually saying the truth or I'm just being fake, like showing off. Like, I could do it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. And then I put myself, to work and actually meet the requirements, and then go a little bit above and beyond. Got all A's, and here I am.
That's actually that's actually a great accomplishment, Damon. That's really cool, dude. And actually, it's really smart to make it only in your master's degree when you have only 2 years of studying, because yes. I mean, bachelor is 4, high school is like I don't know. So I mean, it's very smart.
You're right. You're so right. Now that you say it that way. And in high school there was the I don't know, in your high school, do you have like top 10% people with the best grades?
Not really, but I do understand what does it mean.
Okay, so we had that, and then we had 20% as well. And I remember there was 2 classes that I didn't want to take, like chemistry and physics, which was extremely difficult. I
didn't like those in school too.
Not at all. I hated it. And I didn't take them on the summer when they given me the chance to take them. And it would help me with college. Like I wouldn't take them afterwards. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I want to enjoy my summer. And when I do those classes in college, I will do them. And I will do something else, maybe, I don't know. And I didn't take them. And I was going to be part of the 10% of high school students that would graduate. And I think I would also have like a picture of me somewhere in the highway, because they would put the 10% in there. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. and I didn't. Just by one person who passed me. Just by one person, I was top 20%, but not top 10 by one.
Wow.
And I'm like, I know exactly that reason because I didn't take those 2 classes that would help me get to the 10%. And when I went to college, believe it or not, they were accepting people with top 20%. Like they had special requirements for us, a bit like less requirements. I made it. And then instead of taking chemistry and physics, I took astronomy, which is just like the stars, studying the stars. And I think it was like basic science. No, how to teach children mathematics. And if I were to go to primary school. So instead of those super hardcore classes, I just took the most fun, and it was the most fun, the astronomy. We were literally learning about this star is white, this star is blue, this one is red, this one is yellow. And
that's the way to go.
Nice. Yeah, and I loved it. And I loved that the teacher was telling us stories of his life as an old man. A lot of experience.
Those are normally the best stories,
yes, man. They are. And I remember like, oh my God, I'm so happy I didn't kill myself in high school. I'm so glad. I can relax in college with these two easy classes. I don't know if I can say the same to all the people I can advise, like don't take the hard classes, but it worked for me.
Yeah.
It worked for me just to enjoy.
Yeah, because the hardest class, hard class is quite subjective, right? So normally hard classes are just ones you don't like. That's why you shouldn't take them.
But that brings me to a point, like maybe to finish this, because I think we've been here for a long time. Do you want to go to sleep or something?
Actually, I'm just enjoying the conversation.
Awesome. So, me too. Because I still want to talk about like the passion of things, because like you say, it's relative. What is easy for one person is not for another. It's very strange, but the way I see it, when you like something, you do it in your free time. I believe it. Like I like the stock market, and I like certain companies like Nintendo, the video games.
Yeah. Sure.
And I'm always looking at the news of Nintendo, no matter what. So I just buy a lot of stocks from Nintendo, and I'm doing really good in the stock market. And maybe somebody would say, "Oh, so you're so good at the stock market." I'll be like, "No, I really just like looking at Nintendo, and I realize I can buy stocks from Nintendo, and it's working out for me." And there's something kind of beautiful about that in passions, where if you like something, you just don't spend that much energy on it, or you spend energy, but it doesn't feel like it is. And I want to ask you, what is that for you? Something that you do that it's maybe difficult for others, or is weird, or they just can't handle doing it for hours, but you can.
Oh, I would give you such a big answer to this question, because it's really good. I exactly understand what you're asking. And so for me, it's definitely my hobbies, writing music and creating music videos, because those are two are huge. That's why I want to be a music artist, but I also want to direct music videos myself, because I don't know why it just works like that for me. When I'm listening to music, I can just really close my eyes and see the picture in front. That's how I make all my scripts afterwards.
Really?
I draw it like a comic book, with the scenes, how I imagined it. So that's definitely the passion. And luckily, video editing at all is exactly what you're saying. It doesn't require that much energy, and I'm so happy for that, because back when I was starting, I was so unsure about working as a video editor. Whoops. Sorry.
It's okay. Nothing comes up in the screen. Nothing came up.
All right, there's just some notifications. Oh, that's my younger brother. Diva, I want to talk to you, but not now. Sorry. Oops. Yeah, I switched them off. Yeah, so video editing, luckily, because back when I was starting, I was not so sure about my work, because when you edit in video, it's also subjective, and I thought maybe I wouldn't be able to work with other people because I edited video in my way. I show it. Client says, no, change this, change that. And maybe I would be like, oh, but that's the perfect one. Believe me. Why don't you listen to me? Blah, blah, blah. But now, as I started to edit videos for clients, I'm just enjoying it, really. I remember my first order, I was sitting literally all day and I was just so happy at the end. Like I realized that I spent whole day in front of computer, but I was working, man. And I did like that. And
Wow.
yeah, concerning those edits from clients, I remember I got a project for NFT artist who needed a promotional video. So that's what I did for him. And he said, all right, now we need music in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So I proposed one, electronic music, and it was all right. But he said, no, 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 we need this song. That was a techno soundtrack. And that was really monotone and stuff. So the song is not quite impressive by itself. So I thought, weird choice. I mean, he's a client, whatever.
Yeah.
But when I put it, it worked really well with the video footage. And I'm like, client is always right. Is that correct? And it is indeed. And I'm just enjoying that all right, I can't know everything. You said me what you want, I edit it, now I see it looks perfect, and I'm just so happy with that. It just brings me the confidence, in keep working.
No, that's an
That's
amazing
what it is.
story. So for you, it's editing. It feels like,
Luckily, yeah. Right now I'm editing for other people. In future, let's hope I edit only for myself as a hobby. Yeah, that's my life goal.
yeah, I would say that's special about you because I've done editing in YouTube videos and I do enjoy like maybe half of the time or a third of it. And then eventually I get bored, like, oh my God, there's so many little things. And then my computer is full of little squares and rectangles that I have to move around and I have to research every single little tool. And eventually I'm like, oh my God, like it's so funny because half the video is like amazing, full of everything, images. And then the next half is just like I gave up and I just let the video play. Because I can't.
I exactly know what you mean.
After a while, my head is very tired of it. I don't want to see it again. But then you can do it. You can sit there. You can have fun.
Yeah.
You have the patience. That too. You have the patience. I would say, and then you just enjoy the process. So
I do.
That's really
Found
nice
my
about
thing.
you.
Thank
I'm
you so
glad.
much, man.
I'm glad. And I think my thing is more like this when I just do something in one run and then don't really edit it too much, just let it go. This is more my thing, talking.
Like what, for instance?
Like this podcast, like I'm just talking to you and then whatever happens, and then eventually it just goes out into the world. Not because I like it, but because I don't have the patience for editing.
All right.
I don't have it. Charlene, she can write. I think she wrote 2 books and she was writing a third one. And when I would see type, she would type for hours. She would be so concentrated. Whenever we were talking about anything, an idea would pop in her head. She would write it down. And she really liked this thing. And I was amazed because every time I saw her typing, I would be like, there's no way I can do this. There's no way I can sit down, look, and just type for hours. This would not be fun for me, but it is for her. Like for you, it is to edit videos.
Yeah. And that's cool for you to make this one-shot things, as you say.
Yeah. Whatever happens, I don't know. You know how nowadays is a bit strange with famous people get canceled for saying one thing or another, or
so-called cancel culture.
Yeah, and then they get a lot of stuff like criticism.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that ever happens to me. I don't know what my attitude would be. Right. For now, I feel comfortable. Like I'll just it is what it is. Who knows later? But that's also something that it's always in the back of my head. Like they do 10 years of podcasting or video YouTube, and then 10 years ago they take one clip and something that is not right in that era, and then make a whole criticism of what they said. It's a bit strange. Sometimes I think when we follow our passions, there's also a danger. There's also it's not as easy as they say in motivational speech or movies, where they're like, follow your passion and there's a happy ever after. Once you find that you're set on. No, I think sometimes even when you follow your passion, there are some obstacles that you will face. Now about that, there's a guy, Gary V. Motivational speaker. I remember he once said in a talk that maybe following your passion or doing what you like is not for everybody, or like the reason why something doesn't work out for you is maybe good. Maybe it's good. I can't remember the example that he used exactly, but the point was that it's okay if it doesn't work out. You never know. And he said, you never know, because if you were successful, maybe you would you need to go to a meeting, or you need to go to whatever, your concert, your thing, and on the way the plane that you're in crashes and it explodes, and you die. And it's like, you follow your passion but you died, etc. Maybe it's not so good.
I do understand what you're talking about.
Maybe it's not so good. It was like a maybe horrible thing to say in the way that he said it. Like, he said it dry to create a shock in the audience.
He knows how to make that.
Yes, and it was like, oh my God, that's so horrible to say, but at the same time, it's right. You never know what happens. So whether you get the thing that you want to get or not, be happy with it. You don't know what could happen. And then this morning, I was reading this news. It's very old. I don't know exactly how to connect that, but Kobe, I think it's Kobe Bryant, the basketball player, who very famous, very successful in everything. And he died, I think, a year ago. On his helicopter, he crashed, unfortunately, with his family.
I guess I've heard that story, yeah.
And I don't know if it was the whole family, but definitely was the wife and the child and the daughter. And because he was going to train a basketball team, I think the little daughter's basketball team, I'm not so sure, but he was going to do something, and he took the helicopter because it would be faster than car would be 2 hours, helicopter a few minutes. He crashed. And that's just something kind of like food for thought, because whatever happens, I don't know, he followed his passion. It doesn't mean the passion killed him, because he was retired at that point. He did live a very happy and fulfilling life. But either way, you never know. Like, if he didn't have the money to buy the helicopter, would that accident ever happen? Or would he have passed away either way in another accident, regardless if he ever made it into basketball? Would another accident would happen either way? You don't know. And I guess my point is more like, it's like in a thin line, either following your passion is good, not following it, it's also good. And then also, like, life is very unexpected. You never know when it's your time to go.
True.
So it's not like discouraging to follow passion or encouraging. It's just more like, think about it and enjoy the process. Like, please just enjoy whatever you're doing, even if you're having a shitty time, let's say at school, like me right now, stressed, or you're having a really good time, like finding your passion and selling and having clients. Maybe we shouldn't always be striving for that final moment when we're like, yes, we finally made it. We maybe should just enjoy the way, the path.
Yeah.
That has happened.
That's a good thing to think about.
Right, you agree? What do you think? If you want to add anything?
Yeah. I'm just formulating it. Okay. We've been talking about our good friend, Anton, who's unfortunately no longer with us. And yeah, I just want to say like rest in peace, Anton. And since now we were talking about this, I do feel that Anton actually was that kind of person who was, like getting as much as he could from his life, because the guy was insane. First of all, he was just a nice guy, just a nice personality. But oh, what was he doing? He was riding those motorcycles. Those
Yeah,
were
like
not
the
motorcycles,
four
like
wheels.
quadra, yeah,
But
four wheels
I don't know.
motorcycles. He was making YouTubes. He was doing some businesses,
Instagram, like
just
getting
just
people. Yeah.
just everything. Yes, and first of all, of course, for us, he was just such a good friend. And I remember when I found out about what happened to him, I was quite shocked. And there was a Russian friend of mine who said, of course it's pity, but I bet Anton just was getting as much as he could from his life, so like he wouldn't regret it, the life he lived. And yeah, that gave me a lot of ideas to think about. So that's just the best way to go. Just
Mm-hmm.
enjoy every day and like make everything you really want to, because then tomorrow or something. I missed the guy.
I miss Anton for sure. He like you say, he was really great at living his life. He was always like a party guy. Not exaggerated party, like, blacking
He
out.
was
It's
always
just
encouraging. He was always
encouraging, yeah,
yeah.
to get out of your comfort zone. And when he left, in Germany, he was doing a lot of these videos, like you say. He had everything set up, like the dream of a young person to make it to the top. He had his own group, his own catchphrase, I think, and
Yeah,
just everything.
his
Videos,
brand.
views,
He was
brand.
making merch. He was selling merch. That's
He
how
was
popular he was.
Yes, and he was that guy in the parties where he was like, I'm a rapper or something, and they show the video, the professional video, to the girls. I remember watching him do that. Now all of a sudden the girls would be so interested in him, like giving him so much time to speak and all that. And I'm like, oh my god, this is the guy that every guy wants to be. Like, just here I am rapping on this cars, the badass, and then here I am on a motorcycle, and here I am
Yeah,
skiing.
yeah.
Um, he
But
lived his
always
life,
friendly. But
always
always
friendly.
friendly and encouraging.
When I met him, I thought he was like an asshole. I thought, just because, like, the stereotype, because he was the buff guy, looks like a college person, energetic, cool. And I just thought, oh my God, this is like, nowadays it's a chat, and a chat is a good thing. But
Oh,
before, I thought he was just like one of those show off people that don't care about you, but they're like the cool kid. And
my
then, like,
first impression was similar. Yeah.
the same, well, similar. And and no, he turned out to be super cool. And then he thought he had another impression of me as well, like a similar one. Like, he also thought I would be a bit of an asshole, and then I wasn't. But it was funny. But or maybe not an asshole at all. But he thought maybe I was like super religious because I would just be in my room, and then he thought I was Muslim just because I have a beard.
Damien, first time I saw you, I thought you was Indian. I'm so sorry.
Well, I thought
That was my first contact ever with foreigners. I was wrong in many things. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. With Anton was like that. He thought I was religious Muslim. So he wouldn't talk to me much, like, oh, maybe I'm getting, what is it? Like, interrupting him or something. He
Ah,
looks too much like into himself. And no, he was wrong. I was wrong of him. But now that you say that I look Indian, I have a friend in China who is Indian, like has some family,
yeah.
uh, and they would confuse us as brothers whenever we would talk. We would walk together, and we
Funny.
would always play the joke like, "Oh yeah, he's my brother. I come from here." But back to Anton, I think the reason you brought him up, because we were talking about follow your passion, is that he was following it. He was doing great at it. And here and there, he was doing odd jobs. We don't know the reason why, but I do remember he was in Canada at one point, even though he's from
with his
Slovakia,
girlfriend.
and he was painting like the lines, the parking lot lines, where he was doing something in parking lots with construction, and that's how he would pay for what I would imagine he would pay for his dream. But his dream was to live in Canada, and he was living there for a few months working. Uh, and I don't know. There was the time. Is it okay to talk about it, Roman? I don't know, but
I don't know. That
okay,
might be just off camera talk about,
yeah,
whatever. I'm absolutely comfortable. I mean,
okay, I'm comfortable
well,
too.
we always have good memories about it. Let's discuss because it's
Okay,
important.
so the way he passed away, it was an accident, and he was in construction. And he's the guy that drives the trailers with a big sign that says, work ahead, slow down.
Yeah,
And something happened because there was a truck behind him that probably didn't see him. And I think when he left the truck, like he parked it, as soon as he opened the door and left, this trailer, I don't know what's going on, but he didn't see that and crashed into the door in him. And it was just horrible. Definitely must have passed away in seconds. I hope seconds, like, or instant.
not
But
suffering
not
long.
suffering. Yeah. Hope it was one of those. But it was very shocking, and it was even more shocking because there was a security camera that caught all the footage. You can't see him, like his face, but you see his body. Like you see that it's a person stepping down of the trailer, and it's like, oh my god, that's him. That's my
Yeah,
friend. And you see the accident. Oh my god, that's him. It happened to one of ours. As instead of, like, you always see those type of videos, but it's somebody you don't know, so it doesn't feel
yeah,
so personal. And you and me were discussing it, and we were like, oh my god, like, we want some closure. What happened? What was Anton doing? He has this huge collection of hobbies that are working out for him. Why is he in construction?
yeah.
Why is he doing? Yeah, we just didn't know. And I think till this
It's
day we
still
still
so
don't know.
questionable to me.
We still don't know what he was doing. I can only suspect that he was like a side job to get some money
Might be.
and do and keep following his passion. But that's could be true, could be not true. Who knows what the reason was? The point is that it was an accident. It completely unavoidable, completely, like, you cannot see the future that was going to happen. And I'm just happy that he lived his life. Like,
Yeah,
the thing that comforts me is that I'm happy that he lived it. He did everything that anybody in our age would want to do, like chase this fame. And
that's great.
he was never like, one day I'm gonna make it. Now, if I remember, he was always like, I am. Look at this video where I am rapping. Look at this photo where I have my motorcycle and I'm doing this thing. He was never like, guys, one day I'm gonna make it. One day I'm gonna have this motorcycle. Never was like that.
Sure.
So that's something that always makes me happy to remember about him.
Correct.
And to me, the lesson is just kind of the same. Is just enjoy the process. Maybe live like Anton did in a way. Just don't wait till you make it. Just be happy that you're doing it right now, whatever that is.
Absolutely.
And that's basically the message. But I do remember when that happened, I was in China, and it got me so sad. Like, I cried. I really
Yeah.
did for like a day. And then I just started questioning my life too. I was like, if it happened to him, it can happen to me. And the one thing that I kept repeating in my head that I hate is just, I hate because it's sad when you and I and Anton were talking in our apartment. We sometimes would say something like, oh, imagine, guys, one day we're gonna make it, and one day we're gonna get together and we're gonna talk about it, like, hey, yo, I'm signing this contract, what about you? Oh, I'm flying to this place and doing this business thing. This was always like our dream, to get back together, the three of us, and just talk
Yeah.
about how successful we were. And well, that's not,
Correct.
it's not gonna happen. No. I hoping it can still happen with you and me.
Absolutely. I will, for sure.
When they talk. But respect to him and to his family, because a lot of people did suffer for his loss. I love the love that he got so many pictures. Everybody was pulling in together in Facebook, like, guys, any picture you have of him that you were hanging out, just post it in this page. And then we all did. We saw videos of him as a kid. It was amazing.
That's
And
correct.
that's the life of Antonin, our friend.
Oof. Wow. That was a really good say. Wow.
Thank you.
Man, for how long we've been talking? 2 hours? Insane.
No idea, man. But it's been long. Oh yeah, 2 hours since. Yeah, you're right.
So cool. Didn't feel that side.
No,
By the way, we're still recording.
Yeah, we are.
So if someone listened to this moment, you're a legend. For real, if you listen to podcast to this moment, you're a legend. So
You're
yeah,
totally right.
I think we're about to finish.
Yeah. So let me say just
thank you so much for the call. It was so cool. We discussed everything, like brought some nice memories, some good words about Anton, because man, we had to, honestly.
No, thanks a lot.
That's cool.
Likewise.
Awesome.
It was wonderful, amazing talk. And I hope we make another one.
For sure.
Who knows when, but I'm always welcome to do another one. This was always fun. This was fun.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's do the outro. So
outro.
Thank you everyone for listening to that. Make sure to subscribe, to hit the like button, and ребята, подписываемся, ставим лайки, чтобы все было хорошо. That was to our Russian speaking audience. I know we have some. So
yeah.
That's for our Russian speaking listeners.
All right, let me do it then for the Spanish. Muchas gracias por estar aquí. Nos vemos pronto. Ojalá y vuelvan. Les deseo un bonito día.
Hell yeah.
Sí.
I was so glad to see you. Thank you so much for
glad to see you, man. All right,
I wish you a good day. It's morning in States, right?
Yeah, it is morning in the
It's
States.
day. It's day, actually.
It's day,
yeah. We wish you a great day, man.
But I know what you mean. So good night to you. Let me then stop the recording right here. In 3,
All the best, then.
2, 1. Bye. Thank you, Roman.